This video might not make you feel good, but it's important that you know what's truly going on and how to get out of this cycle of lust that you're in. And you're not going to be able to do that unless you take it seriously, unless you actually truly understand what's going on here. I was reading in Proverbs 6:27. This is what it says here. You need to hear this. It says, "Can a man carry fire next to his chest and his clothes not be burned? Or can one walk on hot coals and his feet not be scorched?" What is Proverbs talking about here? Well, this is all in the context of adultery, of lust, of sexual immorality. So, can a man hold fire next to his chest and not be burned? What is it saying here? Well, can you engage in patterns and cycles where you allow lust to flare up around you and yet you're not pushing it away? Actually, you're keeping it close to your chest. You say you're battling against these things. You say you're trying to overcome your pornography addiction, and yet you're still engaging in the patterns that led you down that path in the first place. You understand what I'm saying here? And so we're making these excuses. We're justifying our own behavior because we say, I can hold this fire to my chest. It's not going to burn me. It's going to be okay. I can walk on these hot coals. I'll be fine. It's not that big a deal. I'm a strong Christian. And we actually make gateways to fall further into sexual sin. But guys, this is not the time to make excuses or justify our own behaviors, especially when we've been in patterns for so long that have enveloped and captivated our affection. We don't want to be in these spaces anymore. I'm sure you're fed up with your life and how you've operated around this area. It's taken up so much of your mind and your energy and your thoughts, and you're done with it. And I get that. So let's just be honest about what's going on here. The truth is that your conscience is seared. Your conscience is dulled. And just imagine this for a second, right? You see those kind of, the Mexican grandma joke where they just got hands of steel, right? They can flip the tortilla on the pan and they don't even use oven mitts. And like their hands have been so dulled by the heat that's coming off that they're not as sensitive anymore, right, to it. And so think about for you, it's like, okay, if day one you're trying to flip that, take something off a pan or something, and it's hot, you're like, ow, this hurts my hand. The next day you do it again and again. And then eventually it doesn't hurt as much, right? Because the sensitivity in your hand has been dulled. Your conscience, when you are continuing to engage in things that are just contrary to God's ways, your conscience is being dulled because you're training it that this is okay. This is something that I do. This is part of my routine. And that is super, super dangerous. When we partake in content that is endorsing lifestyles, behaviors, ideas, and thoughts that are opposite to God's goodness and God's holiness, we're actually surrounding ourselves with bad company. You ever think about that? Like, you are spending time with people online that if you were spending time with those same people in person, people in your church and friends around you, hopefully, would come up and say, hey, you're spending an awful long time with this person, like 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day. They would be concerned for you because they know, hey, this isn't the type of person that you want to become. So why are you spending so much time with them? And yet we think it's completely acceptable to watch this person's 4-hour podcast, listen to this person's 2-hour podcast where they're talking about partying or getting drunk or, their sexual escapades because we think it's funny and oh man, it's a good time. It's just a laugh. It's just some escapism. But yet, if you were spending time with that person in person, you probably should have a problem with it. And people around you would start to question your family would be like, oh, well, you're spending a lot of time with this person. Are you sure this is good for your soul? And rightfully so, we give ourselves that excuse in the content that we're watching because we feel like it's disconnected from reality, but it's not. This is the company that you're surrounding yourself with. And I had to take a hard look in the mirror at myself a few years ago when I was listening to so many comedy podcasts that I thought, oh, it's just funny. And yeah, like there's some off-color humor and a bunch of sexual jokes and stuff. But, I would never partake in any of that. I wouldn't do any of that. But you're surrounding yourself with these people. These are your friends. This is the company that you are surrounding yourself with. The people you surround yourself with is the person that you're going to become. Right? And we don't understand that. And especially when it comes to battling lust and just sexual immorality in general and our temptations, why would we make it more difficult on ourselves? Why would we surround ourselves with people that would lead us down a path that we don't want to go down, thought patterns that we don't want to go down? It makes no sense. Another aspect to this, guys, is your desire is not a bad thing, right? God created you with sexual desire. That's not a negative thing. But in the time that you are single, that desire is designed to direct you into mission, into motivation, into building, into getting your stuff together, okay? This is your time where you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to let this desire and this motivation draw me into let me move up in my job. Let me make more money. Let me build something worthwhile. Let me care for others boldly. Let me develop skills. Let me read. Like, these are the things that you should be focusing on. You should let your desire direct you into movement. It's not that you suppress that desire, but you're directing that desire into places that are good. Here's the deal, straight up. I'm not going to censor anything because I want to be honest with you. I want this to a place where we can just be straight up and honest with each other. If you want to be with a woman, then you got to become the man that she would actually want to be with. And part of that is getting your stuff together, getting your finances together, getting your spiritual life together, getting your physical life together, doing these things that you need to do to prepare yourself for the path that you want to go on. Like, if this is a goal, if this is something that you want, then be serious about it and don't take the shortcut. Like, these things that you're watching online, they're all shortcuts. It's all instant gratification. It's not real. So let your desire lead you to movement. Now, at the same time, you need to be careful. Your primary mission should not just be to get a wife, to get a girlfriend. That's not the main point. The mission here is to build something, to love people well, to build connections, to build skills, to learn, to serve other people, to evangelize. All these different things are part of your mission. It's not just about finding your one purpose that you're going to just continue to do, because your purpose and your mission is ever evolving, but it's all around the glory of God. It's all about focusing on Him and doing what He wants you to do, being attentive to His leading in your daily life. One of the best books that I've read on manhood is It's Good to Be a Man. And in this book, it talks about us being like a train, okay? We're a train. We're on these tracks, and we're heading towards our mission. We're heading towards becoming the person that God wants us to be and accomplishing the things that He wants us to accomplish, right? And on each side, you have these metal rails, right? And one rail is your wife. They are with you. They love you. You're in a covenant relationship. They're your helpmate. They're going to be such an essential part in glorifying God in your mission, right? And then on the other side, you have the brotherhood. The other rail is the brotherhood. It's the men that are around you that are going to pick you up, that are going to be there for you, that are going to assist you, that you're going to help build. You're going to build together, right? So you have these two rails on the track. Your mission as a single guy is to set yourself up in such a way where you have these two rails going for you, right? So you pursue a woman intentionally. You don't mess around with things online. You actually get your life in order, so you're put in the position where you can pursue a woman intentionally for the purpose of marriage. And then also with the brotherhood, you're making those male friendships, those male connections, and you're assisting one another. You're saying, oh, you need help with this? I'm going to help you out with this. Oh, can you help me out with this? Oh, can we go out for coffee and chat about this? Like, these are the kind of relationships that you need to be building as you're forming your life and ultimately pursuing the mission. With that perspective in mind, with those goals in mind, I hope that you're done messing around with fire. I hope you're done walking on coals, because you're going to get burnt. You're going to get caught up again and again in these places that you don't want to be. It is going to just hinder what God has for you in this moment. And the thing is, you don't have to be there. You don't have to. It's a choice that you're making to be in this space. And I know it's hard. I know it is. But know that God has empowered you with His power and His presence so you can overcome these temptations. So today, be done with all that stuff and actually begin the process of building towards this mission that God has given you of glorifying Himself. Be sure to subscribe, because I'm putting out new videos like this all the time, and become a channel member to join the brotherhood and support what I'm doing here. Until next time, keep pursuing the mission.